up, sports fans? We are back for another episode of the JNS Philadelphia Sports Stop. I'm your host, as always, Stephen Shell, and my good friend next to me, Mr. Justin Fiorillo. Justin, how are we feeling this Monday evening?
Well, it's kind of rare. We only get like maybe one or two of these, if that, a season of where we get to do a show on a game day like this. It's a Monday. It's a Monday night little preview of the game, and I'm feeling awesome because I feel like the Eagles are going to go and pull off a victory come hell or high water. I'm hoping. And they have to, and we're gonna get into it. But I feel good, man. I'm ready to rock and roll, and let's get it popping.
Yeah, we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna break down everything and anything. Philadelphia sports, Eagles sports. We'll talk a little baseball winter meetings, some of the newsworthy stuff that came out of that. A little Flyers, a little Sixers. I got a couple videos I want to play for you. But before we get into today's topic, I'm going to play a video for you guys. Some of you guys have seen it. Some of you guys have heard about it. Zach Ertz had a nasty injury yesterday. He regardless, being in Arizona, being in Washington, the last few seasons, he's always going to be an Eagle at heart to just about all of us here. Anyone who's been a fan of this team for more than the past 10 years, he means something to the city, not just being a tight end, not just being an Eagle. Him and his wife Julie were entrenched in this area for a while. So want to pull up the video, get your thoughts. We'll debate this. It's about 36 seconds. Now, obviously,
hate to see it.
I'm going to say this right from the gate. Like I know a lot of people are trying to talk this away, but that's a dirty hit, dude. Like I get it. They're going 100 miles an hour on the field, but like anytime you're going at somebody, but below the hips, I have a problem.
Well, I agree because you're a football player at heart, and you could. I get it when the bright lights are going like that and you're going 100 miles per hour. You could disguise it, or you could argue to the referees or to the media or to the fans and stuff. Well, dude, I'm just making it interesting. I'm in the moment. I'm in the heat of the moment. But as a football player, like only there's a collective group of guys that know you don't do that. You don't aim for the knees like that, And he did. So I mean, it was. I thought it was. I would have to agree with you on that, Steve. I thought it was a little bit dirty, and it's just really a shame to see Zach Ertz go down like that. I mean, he, like you said,
man, he just passed Shannon Sharp for fifth most receptions as a tight end. I think you starting to put him in that conversation, at least in this era, as one of the the top 10 tight ends of this generation.
Yes.
So and he's 35 years old. It's probably going to be just about the end. If he comes back, it may be just for another season. If he even gets to that point, depending on how bad that injury is. That knee bent back at like a 45-degree angle. So there's definitely ACL. We got to see about MCL, PCL. Typically, when you see an injury like that, I think the only thing you can be thankful for if you're Zach Ertz is that your knee wasn't planted in it, your foot wasn't planted in the ground, so there was some wiggle room there. But to see super nice guy. He's always
Commanders in these injuries, man. What's going on with the Commanders training staff?
I don't even know why they had their boy out there yesterday. It was mind boggling to me that you throw Daniels. And Jaden Daniels, re-aggravates the injury to his elbow, and then that, Mariota's the one that threw that ball. But I mean, why? When granted,
the season was a wash to begin with before that game was started.
Yeah, like they had a rough start to it, and then the Jaden Daniels injury to top everything off. At that point in time, just shut him down for the rest of the season. what's the point?
Really.
Like there was nothing for them to play for outside of pride. And I get it. Jay Daniels is a warrior. We get that. But Dan Quinn, another silly move, to have them out there. But sucks for our boy ZE, man. You seen Alshon Jeffrey showing him love and stuff like that on social media. So
Yeah.
that group is still always going to be a tight knit thing. But
Zach Ertz, forever an Eagle, forever
an Eagle, absolutely. But before we get into the meat and potatoes of today's episode, I had a comment on one of my TikTok videos a few weeks back, and it's going to bring me into the topic of the evening, right? So obviously our content goes up there, and the commenter basically was assuming my co-host, Mr. Justin Fiorillo, was none other than the Eagles running back and return man, Will Shipley. So it got me thinking about some things about, not only players in our own with our own Eagles, but other players that have likenesses to other people. So apparently Justin looks like Will Shipley, right? But I came across these things that NFL players that look like. So you got, Aaron Rodgers,
gosh,
Jeffrey D. Morgan kind of got some
like it.
The ladies are gonna love this one as Jalen.
Oh yeah.
Moore got some likeness going on.
Oh yeah, that's crazy how much they look like.
Right. So my thing is Justin, do you agree with the TikTokers comment that you have a likeness to a Will Shipley? And if not,
I have to say on a very sub-generic level, kind of, yes, I guess, yes, I could see it, like, just from a zoomed out perspective. I don't think when you get close to each other and you look at our faces close up, I don't think we look anything alike. But I think there's some features we're kind of maybe similar in height, dark features, dark hair, eyes, you know what I mean? I could see that, I guess. So whatever. I got one for you though, Steve. I got a look-alike for you. I don't know if you were gonna say it. Do you know where I want to go with this?
Go ahead, brother. What do you got, brother?
You're giving me Lane Johnson vibes.
I don't think I got a big enough beard.
But it's the beard. I mean, yeah, it's just the beard and
got the silver hair going in his yet.
Well, here's the thing. You can block for me. I'm Will Shipley. You be Lane Johnson. There you go.
All right. Well, I'll take it. Lane Johnson, as long as I get his bank account, man.
hey, I might be Will Shipley the way I'm just chilling and hanging out doing a podcast right now because I'm not really showing up much on the field this year. So you never know.
Yeah, you do never know, but
that's funny though. Funny segment.
We're gonna get into that. Like I wanted to start it off with that. It was a little fun that we could have it with each other, and hopefully StreamYard's kind enough to kind of pull this one. But want to kind of get your thoughts on things. Obviously, Chargers are getting in there. Does Justin Herbert's broken hand make you feel any better about today? I know that he's been practicing with the case.
Yeah.
Does it make you feel any better about tonight, knowing that he's a little banged up? That there's a possibility that he may not be able to go. He may have an unfortunate situation, bangs it up, and they shut him down at least for this game to let the hand heal some more. What are your thoughts on the nicked up Justin Herbert doing some damage to us tonight?
Well, I think anytime in general, when you see on the injury report or whatever, going into a game that a quarterback has anything at all with a hand, throwing or non-throwing, or just something, anything that has to grip that ball. I mean, you can't think of it from the opponent's perspective as a negative, right? That has to be, you don't wish injury on anybody, but from a strictly football perspective, it's kind of a positive thing, right? So, I think that is going to have a little bit of effect on the game. I think the biggest effect on this game, Steve, is the mini bye that the team had, and the fact that the defense actually has played so poorly the last few weeks. I think that this time has allowed them to really reflect on it, really sit and dwell on their mistakes, and just sit in it and have a chance to be like, okay, that's our one hiccup this year, maybe. And I think the defense is really going to step up tonight. It's the offense that I'm obviously concerned and still have a lot of questions about, and we'll see about the offense. So.
Yeah, we'll see about it, but in the preseason, right? Before the season started, not the actual preseason games, but they were doing all their lists, and they were consistently putting the aforementioned Justin Herbert in front of our Jalen Hurts, right? But Jalen just shows up in the games that matter most, right? Just look at the career playoff games alone.
Yep.
Obviously that's a sticking point. Yeah, Justin Herbert's he's the prototypical quarterback. He's gonna throw. He's gonna give you 4,000 yards. He's gonna get you 30 touchdowns. He's got he's the pocket guy and things like that. Jalen just does those other things differently in a way that I think is invaluable to this team. And I
Yeah.
think that's what separates the two when everything's all said and done.
Yeah.
I mean, do I think at some point in time we could see Jalen in an offense that could have him thrown for 4,000 yards? Absolutely, I think he can. He's been knocking on the door for 4,000, multiple times over the last 5 years. It's just it doesn't always work that way. And then last year we went extremely run heavy. Running the ball almost 420 times last season. So obviously, that's going to play into that. But it's going to be interesting. The matchup. Not only the Chargers, but Jalen Hurts and Justin Herbert. I think is going to be an intriguing one to see how they react to it, how they come back from it, and you were already talking about the defense. Now, I've been sitting there saying for the last few weeks, I kind of felt that JC was under the weather, and obviously ruled out. He had not one but multiple shoulder procedures, and I kind of felt coming into the season he was dealing with a shoulder problem. I've had shoulder surgeries in the past before, just how he was wincing, how he was grabbing his shoulders early in the season. I felt like he had something going on there. Sure enough, as we get to now, we find out that is true. Yeah. Now, that being said, I think this opens the door for the potential of Ty Robinson, the Vanilla Gorilla, one of our draft picks this season, to kind of step up in that in that third defensive tackle role. Obviously, Jordan Davis and Mauro Mojo are probably going to be your guys that you're going to see mostly out there. But do you want to see Ty Robinson getting some more reps, get in the field what this game is, and hopefully seeing some production from him tonight?
Absolutely. I had a chance to meet Ty in the Eagles autism event over the spring or offseason, whatever, and he's a really nice guy. He's a really big boy, and he's got the coolest nickname in football, the Vanilla Gorilla. So I want to see Ty out there. I feel like, as Eagle fans, we can all agree to, like, when have we heard Ty Robinson's name this year? Like, he's I mean, and I understand.
He's only had a handful of snaps, too. So, yeah, go ahead, brother.
Well, no, you're right. I mean, he hasn't played much, and he with the star power names, with Carter and Davis and Ojomo. I mean, he's not getting as many reps as the other guys, obviously, but he's got the nickname. He's got the. I mean, at Nebraska, he was an absolute stud. I mean, he was a steal of the draft. I thought what people were saying. So it's time. Let's see what he got. Let's see what he got.
Yeah, I think it is time, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can contribute. If he does see the field tonight, I'm excited for his opportunity. Now, granted, it's definitely not good when you see, one of your top picks in Jalen Carter have to go down, have to get surgery, multiple surgeries on his shoulder, but
Yeah.
It's just part of football, man. It's that time of year, all the injuries that we seen happen yesterday, it just gives you a chilling reminder that, this game stops for absolutely nobody. So,
yep. True that.
And before we get into breaking down this matchup where we like what we don't like, we gotta mention our boy Mekhi Becton. He's a lost soul out there in San Diego right now. He switched his agent mid-season. That tells you enough that needs to be said right there. He only has played 100 of the snaps, 3 out of the 11 games that they've played this year, and now he's openly voicing his concerns on how the team is handling his snaps. You see the writing on the wall that Mekhi Becton's probably going to be released at the end of the season, and there's a good possibility he could very well wind up back here in Philadelphia.
From your mouth to God's ears, because I hope you're right, man. Because I don't know why it seems like he was like one of the biggest. Losing him turned out to be such a bigger deal than we thought, right? Because go ahead.
Oh, as you're going to mention that, like, I won't finish your point. I got something to kind of play right off of that.
Well, I mean, that was kind of the point, I guess, in
Okay,
the sense of it, yeah, it was just
I got you. So when we're talking about missing Mekhi Becton, right?
yeah,
You go look at pressures allowed among all the guards this season,
yeah,
and our boy Tyler Steen is inside the top five. I've been very critical of our offensive line over the last few weeks, and I'm not going to stop until they show me that they're the dogs that they were from last season.
yep,
Um, but and this is not anything against Steen. Obviously, it's a rough gig in the NFL, especially when you got them guys running around like they're NASCARs, and you
yeah,
get you get you get you, you get exposed really quick if you're not up to par on it, and that's basically what has happened to them this season. So way I'm going to say it is like, yeah, I hope that there's a possibility of a reunion. But I'm not holding my breath. I'm not banking on it. I think that we need to make do with what we got in this team right now, on the roster right now. And we already had one of those situations over the past week where Darius Slay was released and sent through waivers. We thought there was a good possibility he'd wind up here. Buffalo claimed him before we did. That's how it works out. We're the Super Bowl champs. We're the last one on the waiver claim. And now Darius is talking about, obviously I think his intention was to come back here and to play here, but Buffalo claimed him. They put him on the do not report list, so they have his rights and they can do whatever they want at this point in time. I don't know how that's going to play out if Darius does actually retire, and that's how it all comes to fruition. But I mean, it's an unfortunate thing. I mean, I get it. I get it when when you're released in that matter and you have to go through waivers. But I think when you get to a certain age in the NFL, you should just be allowed to go where you want to go. Like if you're, if you put X amount of time in the league, or you're over the age of 32 or something to that effect, that you shouldn't have to go through the waivers. And I know that it sounds like oh, well, you just want him to come here. Like, listen, there's still no guarantee that he would have played here. We don't know that. We don't know that that's what he wanted. We have to assume that it is, just because of interviews, conversations, and how everything played out. But was he going to be the guy that he was 2 years ago, 3 years ago? I can't say that. He hasn't looked that great this season.
All we do know is that Pittsburgh was using him in the slot a lot, and he's not meant to really be there. That's all we know, is he was not being used properly in Pittsburgh. It wasn't a scheme. It was really a scheme thing out in Pittsburgh. But he is 35 years old, I think. So I mean, 34, 35. Would it worked out? But also, is he better than what we got right now? So that's the big question too.
Yeah,
So
I mean that's where you could definitely say, like, is he better than a Dory Jackson or a Caleb? Absolutely, but he's also one of those veteran voices that they can kind of help each other out, and whether it's in the film room, on the field, little things, man, like that veteran savviness is not something you can just ignore or talk away.
yeah.
It's I think
Fun fact for our viewers: I actually drove Big Play Slay to a signing one time. I don't know. I think you know that, Steve.
yes, I've seen your post.
Spent the day with them and stuff. And let me just say, I have no reporting, no information about this or anything. But all I can know is all I can tell you is that he loves Philadelphia and loves the fans. So for sure, and I hope he's an Eagle. I hope he somehow ends up back with the team.
I don't think Buffalo's going to renege on that. I think they're gonna play hardball, and I don't think it's a smart move when Drew Rosenhaus is your agent and you have more than a handful of the guys on your team that works with Drew. That could very well backfire in Buffalo's face if they don't find some amicable way to kind of make things happen the way it needs to.
Yeah.
But,
well, maybe if I'm him, I just suit up them and play with Buffalo, because shit, dude, the Chiefs aren't going to make the playoffs this year, so you might have a chance if you just get in, you know. I mean, I'm saying, if he wants to still play football and he has to play for Buffalo, you know.
it's not the worst place to play, but I mean it's definitely
Yeah.
It's definitely one of the colder places he could have picked.
Oh no. I mean, it ain't no L.A. or Miami or something.
Yeah.
Buffalo.
But yeah, they do. I think that they're one of the three teams that in the AFC you really have to keep your eyes out for to see what they're going to do over the next few weeks. So,
Yeah.
we still have to see them. Week 16, 17, something like that. I forget which one it is, but it's it's going to be interesting to see how that one plays out. I hope that Darius, is able to finish his final season and doesn't get to, just retire in the middle of the year and, have it end the way it was, being misused, being forgotten on that defense. I already said when they got him, I'm like, you got Jalen Ramsey, you got Joey Porter Jr., you got all these guys in the secondary. I'm like, why did you need to sign Darius Slay? It didn't make sense to me when they did it, other than the fact that he only had to play across the state, and coming from here from Philadelphia is probably the only thing that made sense to me during that signing. But hopefully, it won't be dragged out too long, and we'll get to figure out Big Play Slay's fate, because one thing I do remember from the signing, he don't like being called Darius.
That's why I don't even, when I make posts, memes, or even right now, I don't call him that. Before I had to pick him up the day before, his agent, and it might have been actually literally Drew Rosenhaus, called me the day before and said, you just don't call him just by his first name. He goes by Slay or Big Play Slay.
Nope, that's pretty much it.
He was so mad about it too, like genuinely, like if he said, like, if you call him that, he'll be so upset about him, like straight up.
It's funny, man. Like sometimes when you been playing football so long, you like, it's just like nicknames become a part of who you are, and he doesn't like the formal conversation of the respect of sitting there saying his first name. So if you're an Eagles fan or a fan of Slay himself, just remember, don't call him Darius. Don't do it.
Yeah. There's a funny clip. It went viral a few years ago. Remember where he was getting interviewed by a bunch of reporters and like, Darius, and he's like, it's Slay, it's Slay, it's Slay, it's Slay. He kept correcting them in the moment, like every second and stuff. And there was like 10, 15 reporters in a row. It was pretty funny. And he actually was genuinely irked at it. He does not like being called by his first name. It's funny. Yeah. Interesting.
It's funny to us. It probably is not funny to him.
No, yeah. It's entertaining to us, but for him, it is not. So.
Now, obviously, what we're here to talk about is, will this Eagles offense come back to life tonight against the Chargers? Obviously, Monday Night Football. It's going to be a Monsters Inc. Monday Night Football. What do you want to see? Who's I guess I'll take a line out. I just did an interview with these AFC West guys. Who is your X factor for tonight, both on offense and defense? Who's the guy that needs to step up and be your Madden X factor? Who's it going to be
for the Eagles? Okay. Well, on offense, I want to see Jahan Dotson. I think he's going to be the X factor. I think Jahan Dotson is just, for some reason, in the passing game. I think they're really going to try to cover AJ Brown, especially after the last 2 weeks. So it's going to leave Smith and Dotson, and Smith's been pretty productive, I think, kind of at moments this year. So I want to see Dotson. I think he's going to be a big X factor this game. And I'd say on defense, I think it's going to be probably Ojomo or Davis, whoever's covering for Carter. I mean, I think it's a big, whoever can go in and replace and try to do their best to replace that production.
Now, flipping it over to me, I see your Jahan Dotson, and I raise you with Dallas Goedert. I think Dallas Goedert absolutely has to be a big part of this offense tonight. He was leading the league in touchdown receptions. I think it was like through the first 7 or 8 weeks of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And then once they started hitting this run, it would just disappear. We don't see Dallas. I think if you want this offense to be balanced and you definitely have to scheme plays for him. Like he needs at least 5 to 6 targets, regardless if you throw it to him, he's open or not, whatever. You have to have plays that are designed to get to Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
He has to be involved in this offense. I think next week is the week that we're going to see Saquon Barkley wake up from his winter slumber and become and start to get the wheels going again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that happening this week against the Chargers for whatever reason that is. But I do like some of the comments I heard out of him this week. Just real honesty. Jordan Mulatto is basically sitting there saying, like, whenever it rains, he's the guy that's full of energy. He's the guy that holding the umbrella in the rain and things like that. So being that having as bad of a season as the numbers wise as you probably could as a running back, just coming off of a 2,000-yard season, being that he is still that energetic, happy-go-lucky type of guy. In that moment, just tells me it's a matter of time. Whether it's this week, whether it's not, they're going to put it together. I do have a feeling that this offense will come back to life tonight. The fact that Nick Sirianni is going to have his hands involved in this offense tonight. Now, obviously, we took the play calling duties away from him. I think it was like what 21, 22 Shane Steichen season, and when you look at this overall, like they've been, the 7th offense, the 8th offense in the league, et cetera, et cetera. Like, this is probably the worst iteration that we've ever seen of it. Yes. Now, obviously, even the Brian Johnson year, everyone was talking about, the offense. No, it was the defense that was terrible. It was the defense that was really letting them down that season. Everyone seems to think it was the offense that season. It really wasn't. It was the fact that Alex Singleton was getting beat like a mule, trying to chase down guys that he had no business being stuck in coverage with.
The legendary Alex Singleton, yeah.
Big shout out to Alex. Beating testicular cancer was back playing again football this week. Unfortunately, our memories of Alex aren't the greatest in the world, just because that defense was really rough to watch that season, but. I think they're going to put it back together tonight. I really do. Prime time, as the stuff I had already mentioned before, Jalen just finds a way to win. He finds a way to show up when everyone's telling him this is something you can't do. You're not capable of doing this. He finds a way to do it.
Right. West Coast trip, Monday night game, tough opponent, blah, blah, blah. And you're right. He finds a way to get it done. And this is, the Chargers haven't won a Super Bowl. They haven't been to 2 Super Bowls in the last 4 years or whatever. So the Chargers, they don't, we shouldn't just win this game, Steve. If we play to our best, we should destroy this team. We're the Super Bowl champions, but when have we played to our best this season? When? I can't really name a time.
We haven't played 4 quarters.
All 4 quarters, yeah.
But then again, that being said, they didn't play 4 quarters at all last season either. So
to be fair. Yeah, kind of until like the Super Bowl, I guess. But they gave up. It should have been like 40.
But they only played 3 quarters. They only played 3 quarters.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
So I mean, there's we're in that fork in the road, and speaking of which, I'm gonna pull this one up. So a statement win or another loss. It can go 2 ways tonight, right? Do you feel You feel the statement win over another loss more than anything tonight, Justin?
I do, and I tell you why. Here's the biggest reason, ladies and gentlemen: the positivity bunny that's in the locker room now.
I knew it was coming up.
It's the bunny. And I'll tell you what. It sounds so silly and so stupid, right? But it's just the thing. It's just the thing that would work, right? Like it just would, because like if you actually win the game. What do you think everybody's going to say on Monday? Well, it's Tuesday, Monday Night Football. Tomorrow, Tuesday, if they win the game. The bunny. See, they put the bunny in.
Not only that. If they happen to win tonight and win big, man, we're going to have to deal with this bunny the rest of the season. You know that, right? Fans are going to go nuts. You're going to have grown men and or women dressed up as basically the Easter bunny the rest of the season. I mean,
Yes.
we adopted that the underdog mentality in that 17 season. And, you had the dog
And
mascot.
Baldiani last year when Nick shaved his head. So look, those are two. We just named two instances where there's like little superstitious things that they do that make them go on winning streaks, and I think this could be another one. Let's hope.
Let's hope. Let's hope. And then the other thing is this. I already said that the NFC is wild this year, right? So
Yeah.
last week we were talking about how the Bears were the number one seed, right?
Yeah. How about
And
them? Took a big
one
loss.
loss, they go from the 1 seed to the 7th seed to the 7th seed.
So I don't know how the seeding would be. There's a chance they can come back to Philly and have an avenge that game. I guess maybe.
Yeah, there's a chance of that right now, especially they still play Green Bay one more time.
Yeah.
I already said that. Granted, the Bears came in and handled business and did what they did, but they still have a very, very tough schedule to hit. They still play Detroit one more time. Detroit's on the outside looking in at 8-5. They very well could be wind up out of the playoffs in a few weeks.
Oh, I hope the Bears get knocked the hell. I hate the Bears.
But also we've already beaten Green Bay, so we're the 3 seed right now. Technically, we win the night. We should jump back up to the 2 seed.
Yeah.
Now the other thing is, we already talked about, Carolina and Tampa Bay are basically have the same record, and I believe they have a head-to-head in this last month as well. So Tampa Bay better be careful that Carolina doesn't sneak into the playoffs here. Obviously, I know they just got Mike Evans back last week, and Dallas is still mathematically available, but they have absolutely no chance, none, to get a wild card. They need to pray on our downfall. They have to pray that it is a repeat of 2023 and everything completely falls off the rails. I don't think that's possible. I've already said it, on this network, on some of the other programs that we have on here. I don't think that's a real possibility. We still, and that being said, like our magic number right now is 3. We need to win 3 games out of the last 5. You got 2 games against the Commanders. We play the Raiders, we play the Bills, and we play the Chargers tonight, right? I think that's not a hard thing. Do you realize that we're the only one of the teams right now that magic number is to win their division is under 5 out of all the teams in the NFC? The Rams magic number is 6.
Wow.
But that's also because I'll pull that back up again. You have the Seahawks at 10 wins, is the same record as the Rams, and the 49ers have 9 wins. So it is so deep in the NFC this year. It's really crazy, but it is in our own hands. It is in our own hands. I think that they're going to be capable of doing it. I'm going to have some other fun stuff I'm going to bring up with you in a minute to kind of have some fun with. Over the past 10 years, right, there's been a few constants going on in the NFC. I don't know if you've seen this, right? But, the NFC always has the Super Bowl MVP. As of right now, it's Nick Foles and Jalen Hurts. The Giants always have their quarterback from Ole Miss, a la Eli Manning and Jackson Dart. Washington's savior, Jaden Daniels, RG3.
Yeah.
And then the guys down there in Dallas that always show out during the regular season, but they don't seem to kind of find a way to win there in January. Missed a la, Dak Prescott, who only has 2 career playoff wins, and Tony Romo, who has 2 career one. No, he has 1. I'm sorry, he only has 1.
Gotta love the NFC East. Gotta love it.
It's one of those things, and actually, we got to give Dak some props here. Just past the aforementioned Tony Romo as the most passing yards in Cowboys history. So
how about that?
9-10 years down there in Dallas, he's done a lot of work in the regular season. I'm going to continue.
I remember
God.
I remember when it was yesterday when he was in that preseason game and he came in and he took over for Romo and he started lighting it up. Remember that? That was
Yeah, I mean
felt like it was
he's
yesterday.
he's like one of those things, a fourth round pick that just once he got in there, he's never let the reins go. So I still say it like this: if he was on any other team, he'd probably have a Super Bowl championship.
Oh
I
yeah,
honestly believe that. If he was anywhere but Dallas, he would be a champion. And it sucks that he's been loyal to them and stuck with them and signed that big contract and all that other stuff. But I'm gonna get two other Eagle ones in here, and then we'll start to play around with some of this other stuff.
okay.
All right, out of all these former quarterbacks, you need one of them to give you a last minute drive to win a game.
Oh, this is
Who,
tough. It's
who are you
tough.
picking? Are you picking Donnie Mack? You picking Carson Wentz? Are you picking Michael Vick? Or are you gonna stick with our Super Bowl champion MVP, Mr. Jalen Hurts?
Well, it's funny. I mean, are we? I'll make it like a fun little proposal. If you give me 2017 pre-injury Carson Wentz, I feel like that's the most elite level quarterback play of possibly all of them. But if you're asking me like who's the best quarterback in Eagles franchise history, I guess you have to go Jalen. I'd go Jalen Hurts. So like, there's different ways to maneuver around this. But to
It's
get
just
one
you need.
touchdown to win the game, can't trust McNabb. Vic
I think
did
a
do it
lot of
against.
people hate on McNabb, man. He did the most with nothing.
He
Nothing.
did.
Take the TO years away, man, and even everything after that. What he did from '99 to 2003 is
Yeah.
remarkable.
Yeah, yeah. No, yeah. Number five will always love you. I'm actually I know we talked about it. Maybe get some items signed by him this Friday down at the Philly show. He's going to be at the Philly show, so definitely going to try to go down and meet him. I'm going to go to answer your question, Steve. I'm going to go Jalen Hurts.
I don't blame you there. I really don't. Michael Vick had amazing stuff. He had an amazing arm, but not all the time. When the lights were on him the most, that he was able to shine like Jalen does. And I don't think I would go away from Jalen right now just because I know a lot of people like to put Jalen down, and it's ridiculous. And this is going to make this question even more harder, right?
Right, right.
So, who's the best trios that you've seen? Who's the better trio? Is it McNabb, Westbrook, and T.O.? Or is it our current iteration of the trio with Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, or A.J. Brown? I know I'm painting you in a real corner now.
Yeah, that's a really tough one, a really good one. I'm still a firm believer that T.O.'s best year was better than A.J. Brown's any best year. So like, I think you might have T.O. in that matchup, but you definitely got Barkley in the Westbrook matchup. But shout out to B West, we love him. But quarterback's kind of close. Oh man, dude, I'm gonna go with the Hurts, Barkley, and Brown because I feel like when you have like arguably one of the greatest rushing seasons ever, that might just put you kind of over the top. And Brown's done it consistently and for many years, and he's closing in on another four straight seasons of 1,000 yards, straight in the season and whatnot. And then if I think Hurts is the best quarterback of all time in franchise history, that means I'd have to take him over McNabb, I guess. So I'll go with that. I'll go with the right side.
So, and I'm going to go with the left. As much as
Oh,
I
wow.
love the
Wow.
current iteration, now I'm going to explain this one to you. First off, B West is Saquon the better pure rusher, without a doubt.
Yes.
But when it comes to catching out of the backfield,
you're playing. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
He gave you that other element.
The screen game. Remember his screen game was insane.
The best screen running back that we had here was what wasn't Brian Westbrook. It was Darren Sproles. True. But when we're talking about that trio, I think you're right. I think that T.O. was better than Brown. If we would have able to get past 2005, I think you would have seen what would have happened over those next few years, and we would have probably gotten a championship.
Yeah.
I say it again. I think a lot of people just remember the bad about Donovan. Yeah. He was amazing for a while. I think you can some of the same stuff that people critique Jalen about is some of the stuff that Donnie used to get hit for it, but he was doing it with it. All he had was two tackles. He had Trey Thomas
and he never really had, other than the TO year. I mean, he was playing with Todd Pinkston and James Thrash and like these guys like that. Like
Freddie Mitchell.
my guy Freddie Mitchell. Yeah, Freddie
So it's
Mitchell.
like he did a lot with almost nothing. He did it with basically two all-pro tackles and a revolving door of guards and Hank Fraley as your center. Okay, nothing against Hank Fraley. That's
ain't no Jason Kelsey.
He's no Jason Kelsey, nor is he a Cam Jurgens.
Yeah.
So he did it with less of an offensive line. Jalen has the better tight end. Nothing against L.J. Smith or Chad Lewis. That
we're going down memory lane here.
These are the guys he was playing with, right?
Yeah.
So as much as we were hard on Donnie Mack, remember what he had around him. His defense is what kept him in a lot of those games, to give him the opportunities to put drives together, to put points on the board. It wasn't until T.O. got there where they were really able to stretch the field and hit you with those explosive plays. I think if you put Donovan McNabb in this offense right now, you would see him put up ridiculous numbers. I think, nothing against Jalen. He throws a beautiful deep ball. I think.
Oh yeah, McNabb was great though.
Yeah, and hopefully, you get to talk to him. This coming weekend at the Philly Card Show.
Yeah.
Show him some love and get in his ear a little bit and see if you can pick his brain a little bit about what's going on with this current team here.
Well, if they make it quick, I already know what I'm going to say to him. I'm just going to say, number 5 will always love you. That's just like his famous thing. Remember, he said that one time, and I'm like, I said, if I ever meet him, I'm going to tell him that. So that's what I'm going to say to him.
A lot of people think he hates on Jalen. I've heard his thing. I heard like some of his interviews he did with Ike Reese on WIP. I just think he's a quarterback, so he's always going to look at it from quarterback's eyes. So he's always going to see some things that maybe we don't see, little tendency things that he does. I think that's what all quarterbacks do. They're always hard on each other, regardless how good, bad, or indifferent they are. So
Yep.
We shall see, though. I think came across those graphics. I thought it would be a little cool to debate, especially since we're getting ready to go meet them. But let's talk a little baseball, because winter meetings had just came up, right? And the big rumor was that the Pittsburgh Pirates made a 4-year $100 million plus offer to our free agent, Mr. Kyle Schwarber. Now,
Pirates never dish out money like that. What the hell?
Well, they can't have a Cy Young Award pitcher sitting there with no offense whatsoever.
Paul Skeens, man, he's the truth. He is the truth, man. That poor kid, probably would have been not a single vote would have went to anyone else if they had any type of offense. I think he was one of the first pitchers of all time to have a losing record with a sub-2 ERA. So I mean, they need offense something fiercely. So yes, I would understand it. Now I'm going to sit there and say it like this: I've already in my heart accepted that I think this is going to go south for us. That we're not going to retain him. So one of the things I want everyone to look at right here. I came across this. I just could not bring it up. That this, as much as power hitting is fun with this team is produced things like that. Man, we need a real hitting coach on this team, a real one, like ASAP. Look at some of these chase rates for balls and strikes outside of the strike zone. Schwarber's obviously at the bottom of the list. Still 21, almost 22% chasing pitches is not good, but good God, Nick Castellanos is killing. Oh God, 40.9%. You got to be kidding me.
Almost 41%.
I mean, you can just close your eyes and picture him striking out right now.
Listen, I already said I think Real Muto it gives us more than just a bat, and I've already said that I think the pitcher-catcher relationship is one of the few special ones in sports. But I already said that. Me and you talked about it last week. My ears keep telling me they're going to unload one of some of these guys with these bigger contracts.
Yeah.
I think Trey Turner is going to be a victim of that. I honestly do. I was surprised that we got through the winter meetings and we didn't hear something. But when you're starting to see these chase rates, this is why they're not succeeding in October right here. You cannot get on base if you're swinging at just about a quarter of the pitches you see.
No,
especially if they're out of the strike zone, man. You got to get on base. You got to get walks. If you're not getting your pitch where that you can tear the cover off the ball, take it.
Yeah. I'm not even kidding. What is Ryan Howard doing right now? He would be the perfect hitting coach.
As much as he used to chase, you want him to be the hitting coach? Come on, don't tell me you remember that, brother.
Well, I mean, he's a big name, and a lot of times, do baseball teams, do they not bring in the big name? They bring in the big names to be the hitting coach. But I mean, I know he did chase a lot. You're right.
I already I already said it.
We'll go to a more technical hitter. I'll think of somebody else.
Bring in Don Mattingly. We already talked about this. We already talked about this. His son is the general manager here.
Right.
Bring him in as a bench coach, man. Donnie Baseball would get it right, man. Look what he did. Look what he did with the Blue Jays last season, man.
Make the call.
He spent how many years down in Miami?
Yeah.
Like, dude, come on. I love that right there. I think that's a match made in heaven.
Yeah.
You get father and son to be able to help this organization win another championship, and to get the potential to get Donnie Baseball his first World Series. I think that's there. You can't put a price tag on that. Hopefully that the front office is smart enough to put that together, because that was the rumor that I was hearing. I'm surprised that we didn't hear that he had taken some type of role inside the Phillies organization. We'll see what happens, and I'm still a little irritated with baseball as a whole right now after the debauchery that happened last night with the Hall of Fame voting. That's an argument for another day. Obviously, there weren't any Phillies available, but one. You vote in one guy. It's sickening. It's absolutely sickening. I'm
the class of one, the Hall of Fame class of one.
and you have a laundry list of guys that are eligible, available, and should have been in long ago. Now, he wasn't here long. Dale Murphy, right? He wasn't here in Philadelphia long. But in the 80s, there's only one guy to hit more RBIs than him. Eddie Murray. He's a Hall of Famer. There's only one guy that in the 80s hit more home runs than him. That's our Mike Schmidt. Hall of Famer, yeah. So why isn't Dale Murphy in there?
I don't know. It sounds like he should be.
It's absolutely ridiculous. It just drives me mad. And I've talked about it on this program. I've talked about it on other programs.
Yeah.
That not just Major League Baseball, but as a whole, Hall of Fame voting needs to absolutely change. It needs to be put in the hands of the guys with the buses, the guys with the golden jackets, regardless if we're talking football, baseball, or whatever. Take it out of the writers' hands. I've had enough of it. Should they get a vote? Sure, they should get a vote, but they shouldn't get a percentage of they need to have X amount of percentage of their votes. No. It's utterly disgusting. It doesn't matter which sport we're talking about. Baseball, football, basketball. I don't care. The writers shouldn't have that much say on guys that come in.
Yeah.
Veterans, Hall of Famers, even the current players, I think they all should have 75% of what you need to get in. That the Baseball Hall of Fame writers, yes, they should get a vote. But it should count for 25% of what needs to be. That should be the determining factor. That if it's 100% or 50%, something to that effect. Not to the point where they're keeping guys out. Let's not even go in what they did to Pete Rose, who wasn't even a finalist, by the way. So that's a whole nother argument. And
Pete
Rose,
that's a shame.
Ridiculous.
You could bet on baseball games on your phone now, and he got banned for baseball. I mean, it's just crazy.
The guy was betting on his own team. Stop playing with him. But now we were talking about this a few weeks ago when we were talking about hockey, that we were looking for the Broad Street Bullies to come back. I want to play you a little 30-second clip of our Flyers playing against one of our rivals this week, man. Check this thing out. Because
Oh boy. Hey.
And this is against
yeah. Giving them the work.
I told you, man. They've been talking to them bare knuckle guys. You got to watch out for these Flyers, man. You got.
They're watching your interviews, Steve, with all the bare knuckle fighters you're doing.
Listen, they've been talking. I think it was the kid Johnny Cannoli.
Yeah,
Johnny Garbarino, he was one of the guys that went down there that helped them, that did some stuff like that. But seeing that fire out of these guys, like I already said, I think they're going to be a playoff team. I'm really excited for this Flyer season. I don't have any aspirations of Cup anytime soon, but I think the marriage of Rick Tocchet, of bringing some of that toughness back to this team, I think should be fun. If you guys, girls, or anyone in between that have been out on these Flyers, the last 10 years, and you do have a love for, go check this team out. They're worth watching. They're way more worth watching than what we're saying about the same team in the same arena, which is within our 76ers, because they started off hot and they ain't been looking good. Now that's going to get us to our next point is we came across this one. Now if the Sixers were winning, Maxey would be in MVP talks. Me and you were talking about the whole MVP thing. I think one part I will agree with that is that I don't think Tyrese Maxey gets enough love from the national media, from the regular Philadelphia Sixers fan.
I agree. Yeah,
he is the voice of this team now. I've already said it. I think Joel's time's over, and we'll get to that in a second. But Tyrese Maxey is your team captain now. He's the leader.
I'm the captain now.
Exactly. I'm the captain now.
I can actually picture Tyrese Maxey being his head on that meme of the Pirates saying, "I'm the captain. Look at me now. I'm the captain." Joel, get off the damn boat.
Yeah, and speaking of which, me and you talked about this, I think it was 2 weeks ago. The potential of the Joel Embiid being at an end.
Yes.
Now, we made one specific place that we would like to see him go because of who would be coming back to us. It's been growing some legs and getting around on social media. I'm not sitting there saying I'm the one that coined it. I'm not. But if you're able to send, if it's both Joel and Paul George, or it's just Joel in a package, the only thing I'm going to say is Vengecombe and Tyrese Maxey cannot be a part of any trade that sends Joel B to Milwaukee that brings Giannis here. That's the only thing I'm gonna say about that. Now, I think me and you both agree. You put those three together, that's an exciting team to watch.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and I would agree. Look, if their name isn't VJ Edgecombe or Tyrese Maxey, I don't care how many picks or how many players to an extent, and Embiid, I don't care. As long as it's not Edgecombe or Maxey, you got to give up to get Giannis Antetokounmpo on this basketball team for the next foreseeable, many years to come. I don't know how many years, but, you got to make that move.
So you're willing to at least part with the next 2 years picks to bring Giannis here?
Well, I'm not trying to give up all the picks, but because you got to build around Maxey and Edgecombe. So it's like
if you keep Maxey and Edgecombe,
yeah,
and you also keep the kid from last year, what was it, Jared McCain?
Yeah, Jared McCain. Yeah,
you keep him. You definitely have to give up two firsts to get Giannis here.
Well, I think you still do it because you're going to have Giannis for more than the 2 years. He's run a championship. He's proven he sometimes has an injury bug, but he's way more healthier than reliable than Embiid. So, hey man, I think you do it, and maybe you could find a way to move other pieces around and get some picks back other ways. I don't know, but I think you do it.
I think you do too. I think I just laid out a really good potential trade package there. You keep Jared McCain. You keep this year's first rounder who's already looking amazing, and you keep Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, Joel Embiid, 2 years of picks, maybe a bench player, and you bring in Giannis, and maybe to see if you can at least get a pick package back, regardless if it's a couple seconds, whatever, however that plays out. Like maybe to see if you can work some things out. Working with 2-2s to kind of get back into the first round with a team at the back end of the first. Maybe they didn't get their guy. They want to get the most out of things, something like that. You work out something where you can potentially trade back in, but I think you should entertain any and all packages that involve Giannis Antetokounmpo. I don't think there's any way you could not entertain that at this point in time.
And then you also kind of take away the threat of Milwaukee. I mean, you're kind of you're saying that Milwaukee, we're going to kind of rebuild and use Embiid as kind of for a couple of years or whatever, but he's going to kind of be more of a mentor to our, whoever we're going to build around. So I think you're kind of taking away Milwaukee for the next couple of years. You're saying this is our window. We're here to win now, and let's make it happen. So, hey, that'd be a blockbuster move. That's for sure.
We haven't seen them push all the chips into the table during this whole post process type of thing. We haven't seen them do that, especially making the I mean they've made moves, obviously bringing Paul George in here, bringing James Harden all there, but I think we've all kind of agreed those are these guys that were in the back end of their things trying to find their bigger deals. They weren't trying to go and chase championships. They were trying to chase bags. Same thing with Jimmy Butler. Loved Jimmy Butler when he was here. And I agree with him that Tobias Harris should have never been re-signed over him here in Philadelphia. So, but I mean, it's hard. We can look back and nitpick at things and things of that nature, but it's one of those things where if you're a basketball fan, you're a Sixers fan, you have to do whatever you can to try to find a way to win now, because this isn't going to happen with the current setup with what you're going to do.
No, it is not.
No disrespect to PG Paul, no disrespect to Joel Embiid or anything like that. Just I think that it's run its course.
Yeah, it's just I mean, here's a good thing, I guess, in the sense of if they don't make any big moves here, like I don't know when the deadline is or whatnot. But
we got, like I said, we're only like barely a month in.
Yeah. So they could still make a move, but I'm saying if they don't, at least you could say if they're all healthy going into the playoff with George and Maxey and Embiid and all that, it's like okay, then we have at least one chance to see what it looks like all together. And then if it fails, it's like all right, well then you got to break it up. You got to do what you got to do. So
now my last thoughts is, I know we said it was a close game. We're getting down to the last few minutes of the show here. Put a number to it. What are your thoughts? Monday Night Football, score wise, Eagles.
Going like a really typical, just easy prediction score. Eagles 27, Chargers 24.
I think it's gonna be lower than that. I think it's gonna be 20-17.
All right, we'll see.
2017, late Jake Elliott field goal locks it down. I think the Eagles do start to figure things out, but I don't think there's going to be an explosion. I don't think they're gonna score more than 20 points, more than 30 points. I hope they prove me absolutely wrong. I hope that
either way, it's a win. Either way, it's a win in both of our predictions.
It's a win. It's a win. It knocks that magic number down to 2. It makes it even harder for the Dallas Cowboys to potentially find a way to creep back in, because they have an easy schedule. The only tough team they play is in 2 weeks against this Charger team.
Wow.
They play the Vikings this week, and I think the rest of it is a bunch of nonsense. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited for tonight's game. I'm looking forward to seeing the Eagles get back to their winning ways. We will see what they deliver us Sunday, and let's go Birds. And
go Birds, man. Let's get out of this funk. Let's finally win a freaking football game, right?
And, obviously we'll be back next week. Justin, outside of what you've already mentioned last week, obviously we talked about the Phillies card show. In the following 2 days after that, you'll be doing media work, working with giving back to families for the holiday season with Seth Joyner.
Yes.
Do you have any other plans on some unique media opportunities over the rest of the month?
Yes, I do. Thank you for asking, Steve. This Thursday, Kenny Yeboah, a former Jets tight end. You know Kenny Yeboah? Heard the name before? Okay, he's not a household name. He's actually currently on the Detroit Lions, but he got injured this year. He's one of their backup tight ends. He got moved over from the Jets to the Lions. It's a long story. He actually lives in the Downingtown near Philadelphia area, and he's rehabbing. He's on injured reserve right now in his home area. And this Thursday, I'm going to do content and capture media for Kenny Yeboah going around to a women's shelter in the morning first. We're going to do a holiday giveaway there, and then we're going to an elementary school. Forget the name of it. We're going to an elementary school right down the road, and then he's going to finish off the morning by going to the school and giving away holiday Christmas stuff to all the kids and stuff there. And I'm going to document it. And it's going to be a good time. So.
Love it, man. Love to hear that type of stuff during the holiday season.
Man.
Hearing our athletes giving back.
And then the Philly show on the 12th. I'm going to meet McNabb and Vic. I bought photo ops and stuff for them. And I'm going to see my guy BG, Brandon Graham. So a lot of big names going to be there.
Ask for BG for some crooked tea, man.
Yeah. Hey, for as many times as I've seen him by now, and you've seen him and stuff, it's like he owes us at least a couple of them. So I will. I got you.
So good one. Obviously, I appreciate you going to the card show. You're going to be helping me retire my McNabb jersey.
Yes.
I'll never be able to wear that thing again. Add it to the wall, and we'll be definitely having some fun here the following week talking about your experience at the Philadelphia Card Show for people who haven't checked that out yet. It's a 3-day event, basically Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You have multiple days there with athletes doing signing, photo ops, and you also have the opportunity with the actual card show. There's stuff they do a lot of stuff. Pokemon. There's it's not just your typical sports card expo type thing. So guys, just type in, Philadelphia Card Show. Should be the only thing that really pops up when it comes to that. Other than that, again, guys, appreciate everyone for tuning in, for showing us love. Us here. This new venture me and Justin are on. We are actually 50. I think it's 58K away from 1 million views on the YouTube channel right now. So I can almost guarantee that we're probably going to hit that before the end of the month. I do have another interview that I'm going to be doing this Sunday. She's fighting December 20th. That's Crystal Van Wyck. And so another bare knuckle fighter hopping on with me. Just did Justin Street yesterday morning. We did a pre-record, aired about 5:00 here on the South Florida Tribune channel. So guys, make sure you're showing us some love. Make sure you're checking out Justin's content. And Justin, just for a quick reminder, let everyone know where they can find you on social media before we get this thing wrapped up.
Instagram, Justin_Fiorillo94, and then on YouTube, the Eagles Wingman. So there you go. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, appreciate everyone's time. So other than that, that's Jay. I'm S. This was another episode of Jay and S's Philadelphia Sports Stop, and we will see you guys next week. Peace out, my friends.
Go Birds out.